All right, so this footage, you were at this event, and you know what's about to happen here. So kind of give us a little setup. What's going on?
Cole is leading these guys looking for supplies for some reason that cannot be disclosed at this time. Otherwise, Epic will kill us. So they're coming into this grocery store that's in Cole's old neighborhood. And I'm actually really happy, even in this little glimpse, that they're adding depth to Cole's character. And I mean, you can tell he's like older. Like the years in the war has really taken a toll on him.
Yeah, especially when you see a younger version of him with the standee there, which I'd like to point out, that standee in the Horde 2.0. With the build elements that you have, you can actually buy that standee as a decoy, and then you can upgrade that to a mannequin. Then later, that mannequin can become animatronic, and it's a cool touch that they kind of included that from the story. It's Cole's standee for Thrashies, a cereal he was.
Right, eat your Thrashies, kids.
Exactly, because then you can kick ass like the Coulter.
Yeah, I feel like maybe it should have been a Grains of War box, but it's just me.
Grains of War, nice. So this is the you'll recognize this map. People that played the multiplayer beta. It's not the exact same. You can tell this is much bigger, obviously, like a real grocery store. That other map is very self-contained. But you can see the same layout. Of course, the giant stalks aren't in the multiplayer, but I like how much detail they have in here, like with the signs in the background. You can pull the fire alarms, I noticed in the beta. I don't know if you do that in the single player, but it seems like a real grocery store that got, decimated.
And I have to say that the level of detail in this game, like on the enemies, even like they're a little far away right now, but on the enemies you can see their heads and like this like kind of the skin is stretched over their skull and like the pieces that are pulsating, the lambent pieces from that mutation, like the amount of detail that's poured into this game, like it's almost like it's on a different console than Gears 1 was. Mm-hmm. Like the difference is that noticeable.
Yeah, it really it's so weird to call Gears a pretty game, because everyone's getting mowed down and killed. But it really is. I've been playing a lot of THQ's upcoming Space Marine, which has been compared a lot to Gears of War, mostly just because kind of these guys are big hulking guys that walk around and kill, but it doesn't have a cover system. The THQ's even said like our guys are too tough; they don't need a cover system. But it does not have the amount of detail. Not to slight the game, but Epic really kind of goes above and beyond in populating the world with gorgeous detail. And I mean, this could easily have been kind of a it's a warehousing type structure that's empty. Mm-hmm. But there's mannequins in the background. You've got the store shelves, signage is everywhere. Mm-hmm. It's cool.
Well, it's interesting too because even now, not playing it but just watching it, you have a chance to let your eye wander around and see like the ceiling, how the panels are coming off of the roof and that kind of thing. Because as you're playing it, obviously your eye is looking where the bad guys are, but I feel like it does add to the, your peripheral vision does take it in. Like it does make a difference.
He's shooting at his own guy here. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, it's a spoiler. Yeah. It's Everybody Hates Carmine.
Yeah, Carmine finally turns and realizes I got to join the other team. There's the drink here is called like Steamo. It's some kind of
I didn't
like
notice
energy
that.
Drink. It's like kind of like playing on stim packs, I guess. And I noticed in the beta you can actually destroy these mannequins piece by piece if you shoot them. Mm-hmm. It's kind of it's one of those things not everyone's going to do, but it's a cool little touch. Mm-hmm. I like how the lambent guys kind of explode afterwards.
Right. That is going to be a big pain in the ass.
Yeah, especially when you're in close quarters.
I wonder if we're going to have another giant worm with all those tentacles coming out. I'm just waiting for the lambentized version of the giant worm from Gears 2.
Yeah, it seems like it's ripe for that opportunity. I love the Australian girls. I was listening to some of her dialogue in I as much as I love the Gears of War series, the dialogue in this is definitely cheesy at times. Like there's a little back and forth between her and the other character in the first part where they're like walking around these decimated streets that are just destroyed, and they're like, "Oh, couldn't you just see us living over there in that house?" And he's like, "Not without my bottle of suicide pills." They have this like back and forth like
right.
love-hate relationship.
Well, that's the thing. You kind of have to embrace it. Like, Gears definitely has a kind of like a B-movie pedigree, I feel like, where they kind of... It doesn't take itself totally serious for being as serious of a game as it is. It doesn't take itself entirely seriously. And you kind of have to just embrace kind of the bro-ness of it. Otherwise, you're going to hate it. And I know people that do hate it because they just can't take how bro it is. But, I don't know. I don't mind it.
It is a dark world. I mean, you're like the last dregs of humanity in the universe and fighting for survival. And you got to find some moments of levity in there somewhere. These giant stalks that come up, I think it's important to note, like our guy who played through the demo had a little bit of a rough time at first. There are pods that kind of erupt from them, and they will spawn more locust, lambent-infected guys that you have to take out. So if you don't take out those pods right away, they're going to keep kind of belching guys out onto the ground to attack you. So.
And don't worry, if you suck that bad, like, it will tell you, hey, dumbass, go shoot the pods.
The game is pretty good at saying, like, okay, you're definitely not doing what you need to do. Here's where you got to go. So here they're going to move on and hopefully break the chain, find their supplies here. Oh, that's nice. Here's a little chainsaw too.
Oh, it's practical. See, everybody who questioned having a chainsaw on the gun, if it worked, it
you
totally
gotta unlock doors a lot, so or cut down trees, maybe in the wilderness version.
I would actually like that. I would like a section of this game to actually have a part where you just have to chop wood.
Yeah.
Hey, you need to make fire because humanity is
chainsaw it up. Find a way to move the overturned locker. I like that they've kind of added some puzzle elements this time. Like, I guess shooting it is not going to turn it over. But it's cool that it's like, okay, we're not just a game where you run out and kill people. We've got to figure this out. Multiplayer is all about just killing each other, but these kind of puzzle elements are cool. And so here he's finally kind of figured out, oh, there's a switch on the wall here. And
we cut like 15 minutes of footage out.
Yeah. So this is a little spoiler. If you want to know how to get past this scene, pull that switch.
And there's a long tradition of stealing from James Cameron's Aliens in video games, but I fully endorse this section of stealing. You have a power loader that you find, which is mostly used for kicking things, as you'll see in a second. And why a grocery store has a giant machine that's only good for kicking things, I don't understand, but I love it.
They gotta kick, pallets of food into place.
Right. I used to work at a grocery store. We do this all the time.
Especially with the eggs and other breakable.
Right.
There's the food all packaged up nicely.
I think there's beer in there. It's not very responsible.
There should be. Well, you gotta.
The end of the.
I noticed that in the multiplayer beta, there's a silverback. It looks a lot like it's probably based on this exact same thing, but it's armed and it's very dangerous. If you save up enough money, because Horde 2.0 is based on cash, you can buy one of these silverbacks, and it is awesome. You can see here the back is completely exposed. So the best thing to do is get a buddy, find a spot, he watches your back, and you just mow people down with that thing. But
that's awesome.
It's really cool. And then it also, you can hit one of the buttons to, he kind of squats down and turns into sort of a turret. He can pivot, but he won't move, but he's more armored when he's doing that.
Oh, that's great.
It's kind of cool. Don't let the food get shot.
I know. I'm so sad. I'm like, they're just hungry. They just want some beef jerky. Please let them have the beef jerky.
The bullet's going right through that. Oh, this can of soup is empty. Oh.
Now Tiny Tim won't have a turkey dinner.
Please, no, I'm sorry.
Oh, this is gonna.
Oh, I see. He's gonna have to put this down and probably kick this.
No, he just.
Oh, he can do it while he's carrying.
Yeah,
it.
No, that's
handy.
It's the functionality.
Don't go in the hole.
The people at Albertsons knew what they were doing when they designed this thing.
I wonder if you can kick a bad guy.
I'm not sure. I feel like you can.
No,
you can die for a second.
Yeah, it's nice that he just falls right out of the loader when it's
right. No, and I think that this is cool because like Gears, it's always separated kind of like the vehicle experiences from your standard combat. It's always been like a different chapter or a different section that's specifically for a vehicle. I kind of like that you can change it up and hop in. A bigger vehicle.
I don't know why Sam is selfishly... Well, he's dead, so he definitely failed that. Sam was really busy right there, just shooting people. I think maybe she was so worried about not getting killed herself, she didn't have time to pick our guy up.
We don't know what happened right in the chopper right before.
Yeah, maybe there were some bad words. And
some bad blood.
Oh, here we go. Pick up the food again. And you do have to wonder, like, why is this whole grocery store empty except there's a perfectly packaged crate of supplies? Was that placed there by someone else?
It's a video game, Kevin.
What?
It's just, yeah.
Oh, I thought this was a documentary. Here we are in war-torn Mogadishu.
Right. If only they'd gotten that pallet of food.
They would have served.
Now, I am curious, because we haven't seen a lot of the campaign, but I am curious what the ratio of regular locusts, like original locust and lambent locust and lambent enemies, what's going to be in the final game.
Yeah.
Like, are you fighting lambent the entire time? or like what's that ratio?
It's a good question.
Yeah, because like it is interesting. Like sometimes you get a little nervous. You know, it's like I love Gears 1, like I love Gears 2, and then it's like they're changing things. Now everybody blows up. That was the worst. That was my least favorite part of Gears 2.
Change. He's almost used all of his ammo here. I see what he's jumped out of the loader so he could try to take out some of these guys that downed him before, which is probably a smart idea. Hopefully he doesn't end up using. He's going to go through there. Oh, then here comes another stall. So, and you can see the chopper over there lending some support for. There's the pods we were talking about, and you can see the guys.
Oh, they just pour out of there.
Yeah,
it's so
kind of
gross.
like Gremlins, the back of a gremlin when it gets water on it.
Ugh. I think, and one of the, I guess the little creepy crawly guys that were inside the store were called polyps or something. That is just disgusting.
The real low to the ground ones.
Yeah, like don't name anything polyps.
Yeah.
It's just I can just see.
And these are the tumors you have to fight.
I can just see Cliff like giggling because of how gross that is.
Well, he's going back in here. I'm not sure what he's gonna look for. Maybe he.
This is a spoiler. You're gonna have to backtrack and wander around for 20 minutes.
He's looking for a can of cream corn, and if he can find that, it's a secret weapon.
It was his favorite. Dom asked for that specifically.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't forget the
There's
cream
no
corn.
Twinkies. I wonder if they have food that we are familiar with this far into the future. Like, is there stuff we're gonna recognize?
Oh yeah. Wait, and I have to say this. Like, I do like how Gears, like, they keep stuff from our world, like, because it's not in continuity with Earth,
Right.
so to speak. It's a weird phrase to say, but they have like cars and stuff. Even though it's never clear, like they never say this is a colony of Earth. This is in the future. Like it's just kind of an alternate world, and they kind of take what they like and they change what they don't like. And I like that they don't feel beholden to like, well, cross every T and dot every I in the world. Like make it cool and make it make sense, and with itself. And I'm not going to question it.
That's the Lambent there that we just saw that can mutate, which is kind of cool. They can become different things, and depending on kind of what the situation is, that one sprouted tentacle arms, but those are pretty nasty. You see those in the multiplayer as well. But yeah, it's a good question about Lambent versus Locust, like normal Locust. I noticed in the multiplayer you fight both, although there was much heavier emphasis on non-Lambent. So
Right.
But it seems only to make sense that you would encounter a lot more Lambent this time around. So you're gonna kick this, bam! Oh
Yeah.
man, I want one of those things.
Oh, it's so
especially
good.
when you get in traffic here in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah. No, I
would
just
be
use it all the
fantastic.
time.
So he's gonna obviously dump this near the green smoke, and I think the chopper's gonna probably take it away to the
Yeah.
needy people.
And then that's going to be our objective. Now the orphans will have food.
Oh look, there's a humanitarian message in Gears. I never thought. That's quite a helicopter.
Yeah, well, and I remember they talked about they have helicopters instead of planes because helicopters crash better.
Yeah,
They look cooler when they crash.
this is always true, especially in any movie you watch. Black Hawk Down. I mean, come on, would that have been exciting if it was a plane?